Okay. Here we go. Alright, so first complete attempt at a run. Let's see if we can do this from the beginning in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, got the cutscene. Run here. So repair of 3, 1 hammer. Chainmail and menu. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay. Turn this. Nope, that's what I want. That. Okay. Okay, good NPCs. Okay, shopping's done. Do we get a good guard? Yes, we do. Four warriors appear carrying a Crisco and didn't have much else until we bought a bunch of equipment. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Too early. Let's see what our encounter luck is going up to the castle. Chaos Shrine. Okay, that's 2 so far. Nothing I can use to get level 2 though. Okay, so we just need to find an encounter now. Not enough, but what's it called? It's slower not to take it, I think. Just because the experience will add up. Ow. Oh, now I get the zombies. Great. Just in case. Okay, just don't hit the white mage and we're fine. Thank you for not hitting the white mage. Okay, now we need to heal. Okay, you need to heal, you need to heal. Only, no strong level ups, that's unfortunate. Actually, you need to heal. Oh boy, this is off to a slow start, that's unfortunate. Alright, now we just hold down A. Okay, we need more of those crits. 28 was nice. That's 3 rounds. Ow. This is 4, should be right here. No, not with hits like those. 5. There we go. Oop. Split late. It's fine. Alright. Get our princess back to the castle. Loot. Shake down the princess for her loot. And we're out of here. And cutscene. Alright. And those text boxes take forever to clear, I never realized. Actually, I should probably heal Dan. Actually, I think he was pretty injured. I'll do that after I cross the bridge. Birds. Damn right through that. Heal while I'm in here, actually. Save the white mage's heal. This will probably be about a 2-round run. I'll go to preemptive. Oh, that's good, because those would be annoying to run from otherwise with their high agility. Kiss worm. Two and down. I think we'll go ahead just take the safety heal and provoke it now, just so, because I'm gonna need to heal at some point later. Get the MP back on the red mages. Alright, the guy didn't block me, that's good. Alright, pirate time. Split up the red mages, put the warrior and the white mage on everybody else. Red mages have a high enough agility that they'll strike twice per round, so they can usually take out a pirate on their own. Kinda surprised me actually that the warrior needs to high roll in order to take out a pirate by himself, but even still, I don't know that actually saves any amount of time. Because it's still it keeps the number of rounds consistent. There we go. I guess that saves some time. And we got ourselves a ship. Oop. Need to remember to split. Okay, we'll save really quickly, and then 15 puzzle. Okay. Oh no, that's not what I wanted at all. Okay, where's the 5? Where's the 5? That. Move these here. That there. I need the 13 to be here. Okay, that. Actually, this can go like this. And then, okay. Wait to 45, give ourselves some time to come in second place. That way I have time so that I'm not rushing. Actually, should I? No, I think I can do 45. Turbo ether, okay. That's not that bad. Good start. Might have been more beneficial for me to wait to 50 because I'm not quite that up to speed on these guys yet, but well, we'll manage. Oops, Daisy, I wanted... shoot. Okay, wait. Let's put this guy like this. Okay, this is backwards. This needs to go like that. No, wait, hang on. There we go. Nope. Ah, missed it. Darn it. That little slip up there, we missed it. That's fine. Oops, nope, that's not what we want at all. We want this up here. Okay, that thing over there. Okay, how am I gonna do this now? Meridian eye drops. Is that enough, actually? Vampire Fang, that... Remedy, actually no, Remedy sells for a lot. Actually, that'll be fine. I think Remedy sells for a lot. Oh my goodness. You know what? Let's do this. Beep beep. There we go. Yeah, I think because Remedy sells for... What did my notes say? Yeah, Remedy sells for 750. We're good. Between the Turbo ETH and the Remedy, we're good. Up. Catterday, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate the support. Alright. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, sell that. Didn't need to sell that. I don't probably. Actually, no. Hello. Okay, broadsword. And then we get our temper spells. Alright, and that'll be finish up our shopping. Why did you go that way? Come on, just don't go left. Thank you. Alright, so we'll save so we don't have to do all that again, and then we'll make our way out. Save a bit southwards. Shark, hard to run from, faster to kill. This will help out with our experience grinding later on, since I don't have to expend too much in the way of mana in order to take care of this guy. Alrighty, so make our way to Elfland here. Ooh, okay, this one's going to be even more of a pain to run from. We'll go ahead and heal our knight here. Ooh, yeah, good call on healing the warrior. Cutting this one a little close. Okay. ahead and just keep healing, because they hit pretty hard for where we are in the game right now. Alright, actually let me safety save here just really quick, just because I don't know that I'm going to be able to manage my MP that well. Oh, okay, yeah, nope, we're not even going to try that. Good thing we took the save. Sahagins are very agile creatures, very difficult to run from, especially this early in the party, so without any access to like any thunder magic or anything like that, there it's quicker to take the reset than it is to try and fight them. I think we'll be okay on the heals. I have enough MP, so I think we'll just go make our grind spot, especially because I sold a bunch of extra items, so probably won't be as reliant on ogre formations, but they do give the most EXP, so we still want them. I think I'll do this one without the temper spells, so I'm gonna be walking in a very strange pattern here, and that's mostly because we're gonna be where I'm standing is right where the divider for the zone lines are, which determines what kind of random encounters you get. This particular area, we can get a few more favorable encounters because we can get a formation of monsters that includes ogres and green ogres, as well as there's a few more undead encounters in here, or I believe we're more likely to reach undead encounters, which I can kind of take care of. Poison I can't deal with right now since I don't have antidotes, but I think that reset just cost me that ogre fight since I didn't save. Okay, no, I think I did save, so I think we'll be okay. But yeah, ogres and undead are what we're looking for. The imps and the wolves and things like that. And there's like one other bad thing out here, I think. I can't recall, but yeah. We just need to... Yeah, this is the kind of stuff we're looking for, although I would like to see more of them. Reason we're doing this is because the zombies are easy to kill because we have the Dia spell, and so we'll just kill them very easily. It's free EXP. The ogres give a lot of money and EXP, both of which we need right now. So that's why we're gonna take advantage of the fact that we can get more favorable encounters here for what that goal is. Yeah, so this is the undead encounter I was looking for. So we'll go ahead, split up our attacks, and then cast Dia. That's okay, Dan got his attack off before he got paralyzed, so it's all fine. Okay, good. Looks like Dan and Cal did get a strong level up at some point there, so it'll, hopefully we can get one more before, when they hit level 7, level 8, because, we do want... Actually, yeah, hopefully they get it on the next level because we want them to be at about 80 HP before we go fighting the Pisca demons who are the upcoming. I think the white mage is actually also low on HP. I need to double check her total. 93 is a little low. But we want her to be above 100 ideally because the Pisca demon's physicals will hit her for about 110 damage, I think, because she's only wearing cloth armor. So she has the lowest defenses out of everybody right now. Just get a little bit of an unfortunate encounter luck here, but can't do too much about it. We just have to kind of take that. We'll go ahead and just melee this guy down. Actually, the white mage, what am I talking about? The white mage has 1 more level. Of course she's going to break the 100 HP. She'll be fine. Nope. Unlucky. There's another ogre. So So one thing I would do, especially if there were more ogres, is I would actually use that temper spell that I bought there, because the temper spell gives you an increase to your attack. Actually, you know what? I saved recently. I'll go ahead and reset that one there. Those wolf packs, particularly with the yellow wolves, have high agility, so on average it's going to be at least a 2-round one. So faster for me to just take the reset on those ones there. But yeah, going back to the temper spells, if I was running into more than one ogre, if I had like the 2 ogres for example, or the 1 green ogre and the 2 regular ogres, I would actually use the temper spell to increase the warrior's attack, because that greatly increases the amount of damage he does, and that would allow him to possibly even actually one-shot everything that isn't a green ogre. So it looks like we got our level 7 there. And we should have plenty of money, considering that I sold a bunch of extra stuff at Provoca. So go ahead, buy some armor for our warrior. Armor, iron shield, and the helm. That leaves us with 16 over 100 left over. Okay, so then we'll go potions. How many potions am I supposed to buy here? Okay. Yeah, 11 potions, stack of antidotes, and we'll go, yeah, 3/10 is enough. If I had sold extra money, I would have 5, but 3 is enough. Actually, let's... Oh, I forgot to equip the broadsword. That would have sped things up greatly. Huh, whoopsie-daisy. Oh well. Go ahead, sort, and then use. That would have sped up the fights greatly. Good thing we didn't run... Actually, no, it's a good thing we didn't run into any of those larger ogre formations, because those would have taken even longer, because since I didn't equip the stronger sword. Okay, looks like we didn't get that strong level up, and actually the white mage is still a little low, so that's unfortunate. So a strong level up, I realize I've been using the term, but I haven't properly explained it. Characters for this game, they gain HP based on their vitality stat. A strong level up is a 1 in 4 chance in happening on every level, with some levels are guaranteed to have them, but a strong level up will give them like about 20 or so extra HP, and then they can also have a chance for an MP strong level up as well. But I don't quite know the numbers off of that one off the top of my head, but it would it explains why the red mages will sometimes have differing MP totals for when they go through their stuff. Later on, why one red mage may have more MP than the other ones, because that particular red mage will have a strong MP level up. Yeah, so early game actually, we're kind of watching our HP totals there, because we do want to hit a certain HP total before we get to Lich, so the more strong levels we get, the better. And I don't necessarily need to take this XP now, because we just the battles that I have to take in the 2 mandatory ones to get the crown, as well as to get fight Astos, will get me to about level 9. So I think it would take more time just to take those extra. It would take more time than it would save for me to actually like take these battles and get the extra experience, I think. Alrighty then, so make our way to the Marsh Cave here. This is our first real fetch quest area. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the first story item, which is the crown. So the shadow creatures, actually, those preemptives aren't coincidental. In the original NES version, I believe they had a high chance to ambush you. And what they did in the remakes to kind of balance things out was they flopped the numbers around. So creatures that had creature formations that had high ambush rates instead had a high likelihood to give you a preemptive instead. Because especially in the early game, Final Fantasy 1 is very unforgiving with the amount of creatures that can stun you, as well as the amount of like grinding you have to do to get through some of these areas. So I don't remember the last time I saved actually, but it's okay. Bell got us out of there. Alrighty. So man, we're into the 3rd floor here. Gonna duck into one more room after this battle. So these werewolves are actually easy to run from. So the yellow wolves are the hardest ones to run from, and the green and the red are easy to run from. But these green ones not only regenerate, which is what that HP, which is what that green number was, they can also poison you. Which is why in the overworld, when I was doing my ogre grind earlier, I had to reset after that one werewolf poisoned one of my characters once. So grab us safety phoenix down, as well as a cottage here. And of course I run into a random encounter. I'm actually playing with fire. I really shouldn't have Cal at such low HP. Because, ideally, if I'm going to use the Phoenix down on anyone, I want it to be on the White Mage, since she only needs to reach level 8 in order to get the spell she needs here. Okay, yeah. Got out of that one, okay. No punish. Go ahead, potion up everybody. We'll take a save. We're actually not going terribly far. We're just going to duck in here real quick after this encounter. Okay, and then so coming up, we're gonna is a mechanic in this game called trap tiles, and what happens is when you step on them, they get an encounter, and so we've got a trap tile here guarding our quest item. So it's 2 to 4 Pisca demons here, and we want 2. Cause there's these things hit very hard, and we're very leveled for attempting this fight here. So okay, we got the 2. So this is so now going back to what I said this is where the temper spells come into play here. So we're gonna temper our warrior. Ow. It's unfortunate the warrior hit before the tempers went off there, but so we saw the warrior did about 40 some odd damage to that one Pisca demon. The temper spells give you, as I mentioned, give you an increase to your attacks, so this will actually increase his oh, that's unfortunate. That's a reset. But see, because if those temper spells, if even at least one of those tempers go off, actually, there's a good chance that the warrior will take out one of the Pisca demons. That's a definite no. But 2 guarantees that it will take out a Pisca demon there. And as I mentioned, if we're gonna have anybody die here, we would like it to be the white mage, because she requires the least amount of EXP. Or rather, the lowest level in order to get the spell she needs afterward. Because what we want to do is fight Astos, which is the upcoming boss after this one, and then be able to purchase level 3 magic for our red mages as well as our white mages by the time we get back to Elfland. But yeah, the red mages need to be at least level 9 for that to happen, and the white mages only need level 8. Unfortunate there. Yeah, so it looks like we got bad turn order again there, so go ahead. See if we can save our white mage here. As long as they don't hit the right. Okay, so okay, actually that's a low roll, so that's unfortunate. Oh boy. Main thing is the red mages just need to not die. Okay. We'll go ahead and attack without the tempers. Like the physical attacks aren't gonna do much. Darn it, so close. Yeah, because even though I picked up a Phoenix down, you may be wondering why I don't just try to Phoenix down the character in battle. Phoenix downs in this game just basically cast the equivalent of the life 1 spell, and that brings them back to life at 1 hit point. So if I bring them back to 1 hit point and then they get hit again, they just die, and then I wasted a Phoenix down. So more often than not, Phoenix downs will be used outside of combat. Okay. Let me see if I can delay a little bit here, if I can try manipulate some of this RNG a bit here. Okay, we got 1 temper off, that's good. Okay, so that's one Pisca Demon down. That's good. So that. Okay, so all we need to happen now is the warrior just needs to hit the Pisca Demon before the Pisca Demon either hits Dan or kills off what's it called, or kills off Cal. Okay, he hit the warrior. We're fine. Barring a low roll like that. Oh, we're not fine anymore. We're not fine anymore. Okay, one more round. One more round. We can do this. Come on, Ace, you got this. There we go. That's the hit we were looking for. So we got ourselves our crown. This is our quest item here, and then we'll make our way back to the Northwest Castle. Alrighty then, so we'll go ahead and save here. Also, very important to actually open the chest and pick up the item. I have done that before, where I went through all that trouble to win the battle, and then accidentally stepped off the tile before opening the chest. Okay then. We'll go ahead and actually heal up a little bit here. Yeah. So maybe wondering why I didn't temper the red mages actually during that fight there, and that's mostly just because the fighter just out damages them there, where it's to a degree like the temper spells won't make any significant difference to the amount of damage that they deal, especially this early on since they only have the rapiers there. So better to stack the buffs onto the warrior, who's actually our primary damage dealer in this party composition, rather than try to spread out the buffs. I like our progress here, so I'm not going to take the reset. And these are easy enough to run away from. Okay, and I only have to expend one antidote, which is good. Yeah, we're just gonna reset that, because there's a chance that I could get paralyzed locked on that there, and in which case then I'm better off taking the, the 10 seconds to reset than I am to sit through maybe like a 30-second to a whole minute trying to escape from that. Man, Cal is just not having a good night tonight, is he? But save often, lose less time when you reset. Yeah, make our way up the side of the mountain here. There is our little destination right there, is that little castle. That little shield animation was the shield we bought for the warrior, so it's a guaranteed miss. The warrior is actually wearing heavier armor. Okay, so a little thing about armor. There's two stats that are actually to armors. There's defense, which is I guess another way to say it is absorb, and then there's the weight. So the weight would affect the evasion, which would factor into, what are your odds that the attack is just going to straight out miss. The defense is like, okay, if the attack does hit you, how much damage are you taking, which is that's absorb. So it's kind of a trade-off in the early game. Like, there's light armor, which you're less likely to dodge, but if you do actually get hit, the armor doesn't protect you all that well. And then there's heavier armor, which will absorb more damage, but you're more likely to get hit. So there's an argument that could be made that it's better to not have all that heavy equipment on the warrior, because then he's less likely to get hit by status effects there, like we had with those three guys getting poisoned. Alright, so for this battle, we're actually going to put the white mage at the front of the party, because Astos had the first spell he likes to cast is Death, and like I mentioned, we only need the white mage to hit level 8, so she's the least important one to survive this particular fight. By putting her at the front of the party, characters in this game, the person in slot 1 has a 50% chance of getting hit. The person in slot 2 has a 25% chance, and then the guys in 3 and 4 have about a 12.5%. So that's unfortunate, but you know what, we're okay with that. We can just Phoenix down her later. Yeah, so, but the other nice thing is that spells are cast in a set order, and so a lot would have to happen in this battle for Astos to wrap back around to cast Death again, so he's not likely to cast Death for the rest of this battle here. Getting a little bit of a low roll on our warrior, that's unfortunate. Okay, that's reset. Red mage goes down, that is a reset. Alright then. Yeah, so but the reason we also have to, because we don't have any magic to speak of, and Astos is a very high physical absorb, so it's very important that we get these tempers off, which will help us get through the amount of HP he absorbs through that there. Bad turn order again. That's unfortunate. So as you can see, the other white mage isn't doing a whole lot there. Okay, 40% chance to fail. Nope. Meanwhile, our ace continues to low roll. We'll see here. Yeah, so we'll see what we do on this next round here. I can try. Okay, slow roll on the red mage is good. That's another reason why we put ace in the back row, so he doesn't get hit by that, because that would actually slow roll and haste spells in this game don't actually change your attack frequency. Basically what it does is that it affects the number of hits that the character makes there. Nope. We tried. We tried to get the white mage up, so maybe she could get the EXP on it. That's okay. I can take like a couple of battles along the way back. And she'll be able to catch up. It's not a whole lot. She needs to get the level 8 there. Astos actually gives a ton of EXP, so actually our red mage and our red mages and the warrior jumped to level 9 off of this battle. And actually they got more EXP than they would normally get there, because experience is split evenly amongst characters that are alive. So they'll be ahead in experience compared to the white mage, but everybody will catch up by the end of it. We have a grind later on in the game, which kind of evens out the party here. Okay, so Cal's at about 100, Dan is about at 90. Ideally, we're looking for, like, maybe, actually, no, they're okay for Vampire. What we're really looking for now is about 140 for Lich, ideally 160. 160, because 160 is about what Lich will high roll when he casts Blizzara. So if Lich casts Blizzara, which is the first spell he casts, it's a good chance that most of the party will just die. So we do want to watch the HP totals of our red mages there. The white mage has a higher HP growth, so I'm not too concerned about her HP. It will matter later on in the game, but for this point, it's kind of a matter of, you know, pray Lich either doesn't cast Blizzara, or if he does cast Blizzara, pray people live. So unfortunately, I'm not getting any encounters that I think I can take a good EXP on. But let me duck in here real quick, and we're gonna buy our first level 3 magic Thundara. So this will help be how we deal with the wolf packs because we have what we got from Astos was the crystal, which is our next quest item, and so we have to take that to Matoya, which will then give us another quest item, which will then bring us back to the Elven Kingdom. So a little bit of fetch questing. It's basically kind of designed in such a way that it forces us to explore this little enclosed area we're trapped in for this early portion of the game here. Yeah, but 2 Thundaras from the red mages, it's enough to wipe out. It'll wipe out most of the yellow wolves in 1, and then the red wolves will be taken out in 2. So Sahagins, because Sahagins have a high agility, it's faster to Thundara. These guys, especially because with how many of them, they don't do particularly a ton of a lot of damage, but on an ambush it's really bad because it just wastes a lot of time there. Okay, so there's level 8 for the white mage, so we're fine. We don't need to worry too much about forcing encounters now. 1 tile off for the bonk. So that gaze attack can paralyze. We would like this to miss. Okay, so now we just need to run and we're fine. Alright. And that weird little walk path I take on the docks there is just to take advantage of the fact that those are safe tiles. They don't generate encounters, or they don't have any chance to generate encounters. So walking on them just is just to take advantage of those there. I'm sorry, I thought I put in the input to run away. Oh. Alright, so we got a little bit of a cutscene here because it's our first time here. This is Matoya. She's a little old woman. She's missing her crystal eye. In the NES version, we would take stuff from her chest, but in this version, because we can buy items in bulk, it's faster just to not take it. Because it's kind of some useful stuff for the early game, things like potions and stuff like that there, but because we can buy stuff in bulk and because money just starts spilling out of these monsters like crazy, especially as you go later on into the game, it's not too big of an issue, so we can just skip it. I actually may want to take one of these ogre fights on the way back if I do run into one, just because it'll give me a little bit of extra bump in cash, just because I don't know if I have enough after I sell everything to get the spells I need, because I do need to get 3,000 gold. Because I need to buy Fyra, I need to buy Cura, and I need to buy Diara. So, which is all level 3 magic. I get at least... I pick up 1,700 in the chamber, 20... Okay, so yeah, it's close. Based on everything that I sell there, but... Okay, we'll see and adjust as needed. I think it's 1,700 I pick up from the chest in here. Okay, so we give this Jolt Tonic to the Chancellor, it'll wake up the Elf Prince. And we get our Mystic Key. Okay, exit this way, and then we immediately put the Mystic Key to good use by robbing the Elven Kingdom blind. Sort of blind. Oh, double input. Oh, it's 1,500. Hi, door. Okay, so let's see. I think we're okay. I forgot to equip the broadsword again. That would have helped greatly. Okay, yeah, we're fine. Alrighty then, so Fyra. Okay, make our way. D-pad, please. Okay. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. Cura and Diara. Diara. Oh, I put... No, wait, hang on. I don't have enough gil. Wait, I thought I did have enough gil. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I guess we're selling off two. I guess we're selling off 2 antidotes then. Because I need to make up 25 gil apparently, or 27 gil apparently. Oh, I didn't sell the rapier. Okay, so I sell one antidote instead of two. That's right. I couldn't sell the rapier because I still had it equipped. Hello. There we go, now I have the aura. Alright, and then on to our mummy grind. How am I on the way of 10? So I have one left. Okay, I'm gonna have to use that one. Okay, that means I'm gonna have to use my MP sparingly going up to this fight. Right here. It's about 15 MP, I think, to cast the Virus and 12 to cast the aura, so don't have a lot of spells I can work with here. Encounters. I think I'm just gonna try to run from this one and not try to do the thunder. Okay, we got out, fine. Go ahead and save here, actually. Hopefully I can run from this. Yeah, we're fine. More encounters. Okay, and we'll save. And make our way off the side here. Okay, so might seem like I'm taking a weird path through these chests here, but that's because in front of each of these chests is a trap tile, and these ones on the side here particularly have mummies, and this is what we're going to be using to grind out some experience. We're going to get to level 12 doing this here. And it's also nice too because we actually do get a decent chunk of money, but we also pick up the falchion and the power staff as well to sell for money, which supplements the gold that we get off of this guy here. Because we can get anywhere from 2 to 5 mummies, I believe, off these trap tiles. We'll just double up on the cast here. If one red mage is particularly ahead of another in terms of MP, I'll usually try to alternate it, but if they both have the same amount of MP, I'll kind of just let RNG figure out who spends the MP first. Ambush isn't great, as long as no one gets put to sleep. Actually, no, I want you to cast the Fyra. I think it's marginally worth it to cast the magics on the 3 or more. For 2 mummies, I don't know if it's worth the MP. I actually think it's argue it's actually slower because I can just cast Diara for those ones there. Mainly we just want level 2. I think we just want level 12 on that's unfortunate. We just want level 12 on the red mages and the warrior. I think the white mage can be behind on levels and we'll be okay. I'm actually not 100% certain on that one there. I haven't been in this situation before, so we're winging this. If that might come back to bite me. We'll find out after we're done with this. We'll find out when I have to reset reset 20 times the lich. Okay, we'll go ahead and use up some of this MP here. well, yeah, that broadsword makes a big difference. I think in a practice one, when I forgot to equip the broadsword to the red mages, they what's it called? They didn't do anything to those mummies at all. That broadsword makes a big difference. I need to remember to actually equip that thing. Fyra and Dia. Ow. This is gonna be cutting it close in terms of NP. Major only has 2 DR casts in her, and I can't cast DR anymore. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's even more unfortunate. Now I can't do any AoE. Oh boy. Okay. Well, everybody got their level 12, at least, or everybody except the white mage. But so I think we're just gonna have to make do with that. All right, we'll adjust. We will adjust on the fly accordingly. Alright, so the warrior and the 2 red mages are level 12 now, so that's about the, what they need to survive the first trip to on the Earthquake, because the actual goal of that is actually so that by the time, because I have to go through the Earthcave twice, because I can't, it's not that I can't do it in one trip. I would if I what's it called? I would if I was able, but it's for story reasons. I'm blocked off from progressing further than the third floor. So, for story purposes, I have to go through the thing twice. And for all intents and purposes, I don't have to do this grind. You could, if you so choose, just go straight down there. Down there, you would actually be at about level 12, I think, by the time you got down to Lich, but that's very risky to do so. So by leveling up the party to level 12 on average, about, you know, barring the white mage, it gives us an outside chance of being at about maybe level 15 by the time we get to Lich, which would then put us in the range of possibly being level getting the red mages to about 160 HP. So looks like Cal got a couple of strong level ups there during that grind, so it's good. That's very good. Let me consult my notes here. Thunder. Okay, wait. Did that. Grind to level 12. Okay, yeah. So I do need to drop in here. Yeah, because I honestly couldn't remember if I had stuff to do here. But yeah, that's right. Because I need to sell this and sell the power staff because it gives us over 6,000 gold, and then I need to buy some more items. That's right, this is where I restock on everything. Okay, so potions, 2 stacks. We'll go 1 stack of antidotes just because my money was a little low there. Okay, these gold needles may be important there, and then a stack of tents. Main thing is I need to save 4,000 gold because I need to buy a silver armlet when I get to Melmond, which is the next area we're going to. But first we have to do a little bit more story progression, because what we got from the Elven Kingdom was the Mystic Key, which then allows us to open a bunch of locked doors which we could not previously get through. We're gonna go ahead, go back to Corneria Castle for a little bit, and then we're just gonna raid the place. Alrighty then. So, work our way around the back here. Say hi to this guy, say hi to this guy, oh in here, and open this chest. So both these doors, if you didn't have the Mystic Key, would actually be locked, and you wouldn't be able to get the items in here, and the Nitro Powder is the only one we care about for the purpose of the speedrun, because that's our next progression item. Also very important, duck into town and buy Phoenix Downs, because in this next area, for plot reasons, Melmond does not have a clinic, so if anybody dies here, that's very, very bad. That will give me 4,300. Okay, yeah. Just enough saved to still buy the silver armlet. Eki Stream, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much for the good luck. I appreciate your support here. Actually, even though I got the preemptive, I'll take this just because it'll give this the white mage some time to catch up for her levels there. Just that little bit of EXP. The ogre would take a little bit too long to fight there, but it's fine there. Okay, so we make our way to the dwarf cave here. Got a couple of things we need to pick up. We actually have a lot of things we need to pick up, but most importantly, this is actually where we finally get out of this little landlocked area we've been in for this whole thing. So rob that guy of all his life savings, and then we go down to this guy, talk to this guy, and we give him a little bit of nitro powder, and he thinks the best way to open up the canal is to just completely collapse the mining cave that everybody's in. I can't possibly see how this is going to turn out badly. Yep, so that little dwarf, just with that nitro powder, just completely collapsed that canal. Water is going to be rushing into this dwarf cave at any given moment, so... and what does this guy do? Just doesn't really care. He's actually excited that he just flooded the place. So we, as very responsible warriors, are going to secure everything of value and then get the heck out of Dodge. Go ahead, grab everything in these chests here. Alrighty. So we'll make our way out of here in a bit. Zigzaggy corridor is my one weakness. And we're out of there, never to return again. It's probably going to be underwater within a couple of hours, so it's fine. Make our way back to our boat, and then we'll be sailing on our way to Melmond. Come on. This isn't supposed to be a hard thing to run from, I swear. There we go. Dan got us out of there. And then we immediately run into another encounter. Alright, we'll go ahead, save now that we're back on the boat. I should probably heal up the white mage. We'll do that in a bit. Alright, make our way through here. That little whirlpool is actually a bonus dungeon that was added to the remix of this game, the GBA and the PSP versions. Alrighty then, so... we need the equipment shop. Here we go, because I need this. Alright, so this will be our first armor upgrade we got into the white mage, and then we'll go ahead and put everything onto our rest of our party. The nice thing about the red mage is that because they use a lot of the same swords, and to some extent the armors, at least in the early game, as the warrior I can hand down a lot of the equipment. Eventually, actually, what will happen is I'll start handing down equipment from the white mage to the red mage to make up to make up for their armors there, because a lot of the magical armors, they give a lot of defense, and they're also light, so they don't impact your evasion, which is something that will become more prevalent as we start getting more later game armors and stuff like that there. Those shadows inflicting blind is annoying, but not too terribly problematic. Okay, so for our first trip to the Earth Cave, go ahead, tent outside. And then save our game. Oh, that's not the right save file. There we go. I actually don't really need that save file, but so I just waste time, if anything, if I select the wrong one. Alrighty, so most of these encounters I'm going to run from. These minotaurs and trolls are going to be the one exception, because these guys give a good chunk of EXP, and they're not terrible. They don't take terribly long to take down, especially with the temper spells increasing our physical attack there. If we get with both of them off, there's a good chance that actually the warrior will just one-shot them. Bam, yeah. I'm pretty sure actually the warrior can take them down, which is if he just gets the one temper off. But 2 just makes it consistent, especially when they're with damage variance, and especially if there's more than one of them. Alrighty. One of the things you actually don't realize until you really look at this game is that actually in the early game especially, there's a lot of poisonous and undead enemies, so these antidotes and those and the Dia spells actually do benefit you considerably in the early game. The trolls are weak to fire magic, and so usually with one Fyra and then an attack from the warrior, it's enough to take them down there. Unfortunate turn order there, but should be able to just melee everything from here. I do need to kind of be conservative with my MP, especially because I had, since earlier when I was doing the 15 puzzle, there was a chance for the second place prize. I could have gotten an item called the Emergency Exit, which casts the spell Exit and will take you instantly out of a dungeon. Now, that's useful for this particular area because since I have to do 2 legs to this place, once I beat the vampire, I have to go back out, come back out of this place. If I have to manually walk that, then I do, need to conserve MP here. But if I get encounters like these too often, even though I'm gonna have nice experience for it, oh, bye Dan. That's unfortunate. Oh well. That's what we have Phoenix Downs for. Yeah, but if I get too many of these encounters too often, we might have some issues in terms of MP, because I won't have enough MP to realistically do the fights back out. And we do have a couple of nasty encounters, particularly the Pisca demons we fought earlier, coming up on the 3rd floor. Ugh, Bell holding on there. Okay, well, Cal didn't get that's unfortunate, he didn't get a strong level up there. Yeah, so whether I potion or whether I heal is kind of just dependent upon how much HP I need to heal. Since the potions are a flat 50 and the cure spell will scale with the white mage's magic stat, intelligence stat, so depending on how much I need to heal, it will probably be better for me just to use the potions there, but I only have so many potions, just as I have so much MP, so it's kind of a little bit of a juggling act. Actually, I'm going to save your MP, because you weren't dead in the last fight. 60 MP is enough to cast 4 fire spells. I should only need 3. But even still, this is still less MP than I would like for this first leg. But fortunately, I only have to go through one more floor, so... Okay, God managed to save some MP there. And Dan managed to get the level he needed. The fortunate part being is later on in this run we have a nice little grind spot against basically a mini-boss, which will sorta kinda level out everybody's experience curves. So the Pisca Demons, because they were flagged for a boss earlier when they reused the boss fights later, they still share that flag, so unfortunately I can't run from this battle, but one thing I didn't have when I first fought them was the Thundara spell, and they're weak to thunder. Safety save periodically because this floor has some pretty nasty encounters, because we can also run into cockatrices, which can stun you. There's image or I guess I don't remember what the GBA version is called. I believe we ran into them earlier, but in the NES version they're called images, and they can also stun you. And both of them have a particularly nasty habit of showing up in large groups, so dealing with them is tricky. Okay, hopefully I can... what's it called? I can beat Vampire with the stuff I have, because I don't have... I just realized I don't have enough MP to cast the 3 casts of Spyro that I need. I know I definitely need 2. Because it's a 3. I believe it's a 3-round fight. Fyra, Diara, Fyra, Diara. Usually 2 rounds and some change is enough. So hopefully I have enough MP to cast this. This is gonna be interesting. Routing on the fly. We're gonna go ahead and not cast Thundara. We're gonna go ahead and just save our MP and use Temper instead. Actually, judging from that, I didn't even need the Temper, so... Okay, so I have enough MP to cast exactly 2 Fyras from each of the red mages, so hopefully that'll be enough. Alright. Heal everyone back up to full. That's good enough. The Vampire doesn't really have anything too nasty from what I recall, so... Alright, so we're not even going to bother with the Temper spells for this one because he has a very high physical absorb, so we're just going to rely on our red mages and our white mages to do the damage for us. Each of our attacks will do about 60 damage to him, and then... with regen, and the fact that this takes 3 rounds, I want to say he has about 400 hit points or so, I believe. So, okay, I got a high roll there, so that'll help balance things out a bit. And that's good, the warrior is the one we want him hitting, so... Alrighty, oop, late split, that's fine. I actually wasn't counting my damage all that well there, so... Alright. And we get our Star Ruby. Okay, now comes the fun part, because now we have to get out of here. Okay, we'll go ahead, Cura. I really hope we run into a lot of undead things, because if I need to cast Thunder or Fire Magic, we're gonna be in for a rough time here. Preemptives are also nice. I will take a preemptive any day. It should actually be noted that because the Pisca Demons are flagged as a boss, you will never get a preemptive or ambush chance on those guys. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother trying to fight that one out. I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna take the reset. That wasn't a considerable distance for my last save. we're just gonna yeah, this is the strat. We're just gonna save scum the heck out of this floor. Try not to create multiple chances to encounters by missing our D-pad inputs. This is fine. Everything's fine. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and fight just to try to fight this one out. We're just gonna slash at these guys. Ow. Just because I went a considerable distance and was about to safety save, so we're just gonna go ahead and try to fight this one out. The hard part will just be getting out, because I tend as soon as I get outside, which will get back a good portion of my HP and MP, so we just need to get out. I have a really bad habit of waiting slightly too long to save, because I've had so many times where I'm about to hit save and I just get into an encounter. So it's like I need to remember to save one tile before I actually want to, because more often than not I'm gonna generate an encounter on that space that I want to actually save on. Okay, we're gonna try this, but Cal does have his one last cast of fire there. Okay, and that's why we queued up spells, just in case the run failed. Alright. We're okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna reset there, just because on an ambush chance, it's not that those things are hard to run from, it's just that on an ambush chance, I just don't want a chance us being paralyzed and us being stuck there, so... Okay, we got through the particularly bad floor, now we just gotta get through the two less slightly bad floors. Alrighty. Oop. That's a lot of tarantulas. Alright, we got away without any poison, that's good. Alright, one more floor. Can we make it? Oh, almost there. Almost there. Alright, and we're out. Whew! Okay, we made it. Okay, so we picked up the Star Ruby, made our first way through the Earth Cave. Now we need to make a slight detour and visit Sarda the Sage, which will get us the item we need to get through the part we couldn't pass, which is why we had to make 2 trips in the first place. And I am really, really hoping that Dan and Cal can get at least one more strong level up just to have an outside chance of surviving Blizzara, because our second trip down will basically be their last chance to do that. Alright, so we feed the Star Ruby to this golem. And then he gets out of our way. Alrighty then. Alright. Fortunately, the shadows only blind you rather than stun you. I actually need to go look that up, because I seem to recall, because most of the undead do actually stun you. Okay, just don't stun the white mage and we'll be okay. I'm okay sitting through this as long as you don't stun the white mage. Why did you go and stun the white mage? Alright, Dan, go get him. Alright. Now see, this is why Sarda stays in his cave, because there's a bunch of monsters and stuff that wants to beat him up out there. Also, that little misinput is because I'm so used to, like, places that, like, when you go through an entrance, you're on the warp spot, so, like, oftentimes I'll hit a direction and then I'll end up actually going back up the stairs or something like that. Like that there, because I'm anticipating being on the stairs and I'm not actually on the stairs, so... I forgot to check Cal's HP there. 149. Well, he can maybe survive a low roll from Lich. I believe at level 16 they're guaranteed a strong level up, but just I think the amount of extra encounters I would have to hit a lot of extra encounters going down, I think, to even have a chance of hitting that. And I have had that happen before, but at the same time, you know, that when I had that many encounters, that was exceedingly slow. Like, I think I lost 3 minutes off of extra encounters, but I got both red mages to level 16, and that actually did make a difference because Dan clutched out Surviving Blizzara on 1 HP. So, it helped, but it's still a risky fight. Okay. Alright, this time around I can be a little bit more aggressive with my spell usage, but we do still want to save about 40 MP on each of the red mages to, because this is just in case, because odds are pretty good at least one red mage is gonna die. In an ideal world, I would want 4 Temperors on the warrior during the Lich fight. So since I have 2 of them, that means they need to cast 2 each. But the 40 MP is just in case one of them dies. I'm going to take this fight even though I have the preemptive, just because I want to give Dan that chance to get that level up, just to get him a little bit more EXP. And since I have the preemptive, I get the free damage in, so this will just be a free 2-round fight. There we go. Down. I can never remember if it's this one or the next one I'm supposed to go. Oh, okay, well. Dan, you let me down. I'm not surprised, but you let me down. The only consistent thing about Dan is disappointment, and that is why he is Dan. Go ahead, cast 1 Temper just to kind of help speed this up a little bit. That way, if by chance the warrior gets the first turn on this next round here, I can just end the fight in 1 round. That's not what I wanted. Not like that. Excuse me. Well, at the rate I'm going, I actually might get Cal to level 16. But we'll see what happens on these next couple of floors. I don't get like those Minotaur troll fights on this floor. I do get this stuff like this though, so that's nice. Well, it's nice in the sense that it's easy for me to kill. It's not nice because they can just completely stun-lock the party, but Bell managed to get the first good turn order there. And we get money. Money was always important for later. Okay, I'm just going to melee these guys, so... just to kind of conserve MP, just because I do have 2 more floors that I need to run through. So hopefully the 2 red mages hitting 1 Piscademon should be enough to take them out. There we go. Okay, I think he got a strong level up. Yep, okay, good. He did get the strong level up there. Alright, so 175, that'll put him outside of range of Blizzara, so if Lich decides to cast Blizzara on his first turn, then Cal will at least survive that. Excuse me. Man, Cal just likes being punched in the face by the Piscademons, doesn't he? You do a lot of aggro there. Okay. Man, Piscademons go 4. Oh, that's unfortunate. The warrior low rolled a little bit there. We'll go ahead. Yeah, the red mages should be able to finish him off, and so... Stop punching Cal. What did Cal do to you guys? Oh, right, the Thundaras. Actually, I should save because I had 2 of those Piscademon fights back to back. Okay, is the bat in the way? Oh, yep, nope. That's a nope. Yep, cockatrices their basic attack can petrify you, and they're pretty agile for what they are. So, with 6 of them on an ambush, I'm not getting my turn for at least like 12 seconds or so. Oh, bye, Cal. So, faster to just take the reset and then just try to make up the ground again. Actually, Cal dying is okay there because he's not likely going to level up again in the next 2 floors, and gives Dan more EXP, which will make it so that Dan can possibly get to level 16 by the time we get to the Lich's Chamber. I actually meant to heal Dan there. That was my mistake. Okay, Dan, just don't die. Oh, there went that there went that plan. Oh my goodness. This is a Phoenix down heavy run. We're just gonna all in on trying to get Dan level 16 before we get to Lich. This is already slow as is, so we're not... What's it called? If we can get level 16, maybe save some to hopefully increase survivability on the Lich fight, we're just gonna all in on that at this point. Okay, Dan got his level. Okay, so now I don't care if... he's still under 160. Oh, great. That's awesome. Well, he can still die to a Blizzara, which is probably gonna happen. Why did I fight this? I meant to run from this. You know what? I meant to run from that. That was a mistake. Let's save a little bit here. Got a little bit of stuttering going on. I think that's the Retron. Yep, we're not even going to try with that one. I'm just gonna run at this point. I just want to get the ledge at this point. Okay, just need to make one quick loop around and then we can heal up and then get ourselves ready for a lich fight. Ambushed by a troll. It's alright. Ooh, cow push. Okay. Alright, okay, just gotta run now. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and just take the time, we'll just heal up now. I'm gonna need to use potions there for that there. I should have thought of that actually. Thank goodness rates have a high chance of preemptive. Almost there. We just need to round the corner. I need to be stopped being ambushed by trolls. Wow, this game does not like me right now. Stop punching cow! Okay. No, spoke too soon. Okay, please let me run from this. Just please let me run from this. And don't kill Cal, because I don't want to use another Phoenix down. I probably should have actually just queued up a DRO just for safety. Please run. Okay. Oh, Hail Mary. Time for the Hail Mary play. This is why undead creatures and stun locking suck. Okay, the white mage has no MP, so this is awesome. I don't know if I have enough potions to heal everybody up. Oh wow, okay, this is actually gonna be a little rough. Okay, I need to think about this. Okay, wait. Most important thing, get you up. Okay. Next step. Okay. So 30. 30. Oh, okay, so the white mage has no MP to cast DR or heal anybody, so we're doing this without a healer. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Alright, I believe in this team though. We can do it. Put the white mage at the front of the party because, just to kind of draw Lich's attention. He has physical attacks that hurt a lot, and the second spell he casts is Sleep Bra, so we don't want him putting the warrior to sleep. Okay, we got one temper. We got two tempers. Okay, Lich has 1200 hit points. That's one. 96. Okay, Dan has gotten two tempers off before the Puzara. Okay, punching Cal. Okay, we got the four tempers I wanted. Now it's just a matter of. Okay, so with the 96, we'll call that 300 and change. $550, $560 and change. Okay, so on 6 tempers, that's about the cap that... I believe the tempers cap at about 6 tempers there. Okay, paralyzed the knight, that's not good. So, at this point, the white mages can go to heal duty. Alright, come on, Ace. You can get up. You can do it. You can do it. Just shake off the paralysis. You can do it. Alright. Okay. 650. Okay, he's one hit off because he's at 1100 and change, so I just need to get one more hit off and we should be fine. So if he's gonna cast Blizzara, now would be about the time to do it. Because that would kill off everybody except for the warrior. That 4 HP mattered. Yep, there went the right mage. Okay! Hardest fight of the early game over. Alright. Yeah, so actually, the difficulty curves for the first Final Fantasy actually does start to level out after this point. The early game is very, very unforgiving in terms of enemies that can status you, how much grinding you need to be, because like I think like for reference, when the Marsh Cave where we got the crown, I think the recommended level is something like level 10 or something like that. Level 8, level 10. Level 10, it's something in that area. The recommended level, I think, for this area is like, oh, I would run into. You know what? This is what I get for not safety saving immediately after the fight. So yeah, we're just going to try and okay, I have one Phoenix down left, so okay, that's fine. That's also fine. I forgot that you can still run into encounters in this area because in the NES version it's all safe squares. So you know what? We're gonna save first, and then we'll bring everybody back to life outside. we'll do that because I tent outside. Okay. See, it's very important to remember the Phoenix Downs when you go to Cornelia, because Melmon doesn't have a clinic and their item shop, the item shop does not consistently sell items across each one, so for me to get Phoenix Downs, I would have had to sail back to Cornelia, and that would have wasted a lot of time. So I got very lucky there. But as I was mentioning, yeah, the game plateau, starts leveling out in terms of difficulty after the Lich fight, and then the world opens up a lot more as well, because then we're gonna sail to Crescent Lake next, and at Crescent Lake, they let you know, it's like, oh, you know, here are your options. You can go to a volcano, you can, go to a volcano, you can tackle this ice cavern, or you can go to this Temple of Ordeals, with which to prove your bravery and such like that. There. And the intended order is to go to the volcano first. Go to volcano first, and then the ice cave, and then Temple of Ordeals. But I'm terrible at following directions, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the Ideals first, then do the ice cave, and then do the volcano. Because doing the Temple of Ordeals first, as well as the ice cave, will allow us to get not only get a ton of levels that will carry us through the rest of the game, it will also allow us to get the class change, which will give us a substantial boost to our characters, as well as give us a lot more access to a lot more magic. I really should yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna cast Lindora. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. As long as I keep paralyzing the people that they've already been paralyzing, it's fine. Just don't paralyze Dan. Go ahead and save here, just because that was a long fight. Alright, so down and east a bit. So landmarks while sailing is actually good to keep track of, because pulling up the map is consistent but slow. Nope. Alrighty. Yeah, so same sort of deal here. The only thing I really care about for experience fights are the Minotaur trolls, and in actuality it's not going to matter too much, because as I mentioned, since I'm going to go to do class change side quest, I'm actually going to farm a bunch of levels pretty soon. So here at Crescent Lake, we're going to grab a few more items, restock on our potions. Actually, I should consult my notes for this. Oh wow, I actually don't buy potions here. That's surprising. Okay, so... Oh, that's right. That's why I don't buy potions, because I buy ethers. I just buy a boatload of ethers. Restock our Phoenix Downs. Yeah, because if I buy a boatload of ethers, I can just cast Cure over and over again. And then Armor Shop, buy the Mithril Shield. Bucklers for our red mages. What is it? Mithril Helm and gloves. Okay. Then we make our way, not into here. And then we'll go ahead and talk to these guys here. He give us our canoe. Alright, so this is our second way of traveling the world, and it allows us to cross rivers. It also gives us a little handy shortcut to do overworld travel that may or may not have been intended by the developers, because you can actually get off the boat and into the canoe if you park by a river. So instead of having to take this long walk all the way around to the Temple of Ordeals, what we can do is sail east a bit until we see Marsh Cave. Learned my lesson from last time. We're just going to go ahead and queue up Thundaros. Alright, yeah, so we sail east till we hit this landmass here, and then once Marsh Cave comes into view, we sail east till it's just off screen, and then we go south, and then on the right hand side of your screen after this encounter, on the right hand side there's going to be this little... Okay, the game doesn't want me to make my point. Gonna be a little peninsula that juts right here, and then we just duck inside. Okay, and then step off the boat into the canoe, and we're on land. Saving here is actually very important here because we're very underleveled for this particular area. I don't know what level you're supposed to be, but the fact that, you know, these things hit me for 60 damage should be a good indication. Okay, so we made it to the temple. We made it to the Temple of Ordeals. Okay, or Citadel of Trials, I guess it's called in this game. We have to talk to this guy actually because the quest doesn't activate if you don't. In the NES version, you could actually just skip him. All right. Safe scumming is... what's it called? Not 100% required here. There is a chance we can run into mind flayers here, but... so part of the reason why this is doable actually is because you have fights... Like this Minotaur zombie fight is unrunnable, but we have fire spells and Diara, which I forgot to have the white mage cast in order to deal with them. You could run into mind flayers, which is about the worst thing you can run into here. You can run into Horned Devils, which were nerfed in the remakes because they only cast fire instead of fire Fyra. I think there's like one other thing I'm forgetting. I think for this encounter area, but anyway, it's even though we're underleveled for the area we should be in. We have the necessary tools to deal with him. Okay, this mummy fight was the one. This mummy fight is always the one I forget. Oh, and also this teleporter maze I've been going through this entire time is the easiest one. Just it's always the bottom teleporter. So one that's closest to the bottom of the screen. Got ahead of myself a little bit there. Oh, Medusas. Those aren't terrible because the worst that the Medusas do is stun you, and then you can also just as easily run from them. All right, coming up here is another trap tile, so I do want to save for this one. This one here, I'm gonna get 1 to 2 nightmares here. And really the only thing I can do is just kind of tough out the fight there because they have a very high agility, they're very hard to run from. If I had a preemptive strike, I would just take the run, but it's going to be 1 to 2, ideally 1, but nothing really to do about this fight except fight it out because running is not a realistic option. So hopefully this will end after this round. Alright, should be able to just nope, melee them to death after this point. Alright, now that chest has the healing staff in it, and you could grab it, but unfortunately you would have to step back over that tile again, and that just generates another chance to fight those things there. So it's faster overall just to skip it. And actually, it's not terribly useful in the remakes because since the intelligence stat actually works, the magic scales off of the user's intelligence stat. So since the white mage can actually do better healing, since the intelligence actually works in this game, it's not worth it to pick up. I just realized, yeah, I think because in that last menu I forgot to equip all the mithril items I got earlier from the shot, so I was actually taking a lot more damage than I needed to. Okay, that makes a lot more sense for the amount of damage I'm taking. Alright. So yeah, in the NES version, these guys would be casting Firas instead of fire. Oh, that's unfortunate. And I would just be having a very bad day here, so ideally I just need to run, but, you know, come on, cooperate. There we go. I have a feeling that my skewed levels might be somewhat adversely affecting my ability to run, but I can't say anything. I can't say that with any amount of certainty. So, all right. So we pick up this rat tail, which is needed to prove our courage. Not sure what, not sure how or why, but it just is. And then, before we step on this throne, there's a trap tile here, which generates 1 to 2 zombie dragons. Again, they're not anything we can't deal with, because since they're zombies, they're weak to fire, and they're weak to holy magic, which we have a plethora of. Go ahead and just beat these guys up a little bit. Okay, that's one. And we'll just melee the other. Alright, that's zombie dragons down. Oop. Okay, so we can't go quite complete the class change quest yet, because in order to access Bahamut's cave, we need to grab our airship. Which, the item we need to do, we need to access the airship is in the ice cave, so that's the area we're going to head to next. So go ahead, sail. We're actually right by the island, Bahamut's island, so it would actually be very convenient to just immediately do the class change, but unfortunately you need the airship, since there's no way to land either the ship or the canoe onto their islands. So we sail east a bit, and just gotta looking for just obscure little landmarks, just to kind of give ourselves some frame of reference as to how far we need to sail. So I think it's about here, yep. Alright, so we sailed past around here, that was the Peninsula of Power right there. Alright, and then we're gonna sail a bit more south. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, this is what I get for not queuing up with Thundara. That's okay. Ace is in any real danger of dying, so. And then actually, because we picked up the gauntlets earlier, I can have Belle do this. The gauntlets, when used as an item, cast Thundara as well, so it gives the white mage something to do if she's not having to heal anybody. It does come up. It's not often, but it does come up. Alright, and wait, nope, here we go. Turned a little bit too early. Yep. Alright, and then we just need to make it into that little alcove right there. Alright, and then even though there's a dock, we can just go ahead jump off the boat into this little river right here, and then we'll make our way to the ice cavern. Yeah, and then this actually upcoming is where we're going to be getting pretty much all of our levels that we need for the rest of them. Well, not all of them, most of them. I would say like maybe 90% of the levels we're going to get for the rest of the run. Because we're going to be abusing our little friend, the trap tile, to fight a little boss that can give that'll give us a good chunk of money as well as a good chunk of EXP. Because there's actually other places I could do this. Because I could do this actually at the volcano. There is a couple of trap tiles that are right next to each other where I would fight fire lizards and get about, I want to say, 2,400 EXP. No, 2,400 gold and maybe like 200 or so less EXP per fight. But the eye gives me or rather the beholder that we're gonna fight here gives me 3,200 gold as well as 800 EXP for per fight. So it not only saves time to fight the eye, we actually do need a boatload of money for this for after we leave here, because we have a ton of shopping to do for spells and other items that we're just gonna need throughout the remainder of the run. And so that 800 gold difference across the amount of fights that we're gonna have to do really adds up. So, and then on top of that, we have not only more access to healing items, but just all because we have the ability to save, which was a little bit of a luxury in the NES version. It's just better overall to grind on the eye than it is to grind experience on the Agamas, or rather the fire lizards. You'll forgive me if I have to if I switch between NES terms and remake terms a lot. I watched a lot of prior to getting to speedruns. A lot of the speedruns I watched of this game were on the NES version, so a lot of my terms I'm familiar with are from the NES version for that one. These soft resets have actually affected my Retron a little bit, because I'm getting a little bit of stuttering. I think turning it off would fix it, but I think they would also invalidate the run, so I'm just going to have to work through it. So we'll see what happens. I just want to complete this run mostly just so I can get a time to compare against, and then hopefully next time, if I have less hardware issues, I'll be able to actually submit the run. So it's practice either way, actually, so it's alright if this isn't a valid run. I'll just do everything that I can during the time being. Those Dark Wizards actually, if they didn't have that preemptive chance, would just cast Firaga over and over again on you, because again, we're very underleveled for this area we're supposed to be in at, so it's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all to what's it called? I lost my thought on that, so I'm just gonna stop talking. I lost my thought for that. Sorry. Save here because this is another trap tile. There's actually a bunch of gold that I could pick up on this floor, but I'm gonna save it for the second time I go through here after I get all my levels, just cause it improve. We'll have a higher chance of survivability, because we want to get to our grind spot as soon as possible, since the encounters we get here are pretty nasty. Because actually on this floor we can run into ice dragons, and those have a particularly nasty AoE attack called AoE skill called Ice Storm. And they have a lovely habit of just casting them back to back to back, which will probably wipe the party. Excuse me. Man, this is just a lesson in queue up a spell before you decide to run. I think that's the takeaway I got from this run. Oh, I actually ran out of mana, or MP, that's surprising. That's okay, that's what we have ethers for. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the save didn't go through. Okay, Centipede's not bad. Almost there. Blood bones aren't bad either. Okay, so we just gotta duck through. That chest isn't terribly important. I believe it just has an ether in it, so... Oh, bye, Cal. That's alright, because in this EXP grind we're about to do, the only level we really care about is the White Mages one. White Mages one. Everybody else can kind of get their EXP afterward, and it all kind of balances out in the end. Yeah, because the with the EXP catch, with the EXP, everybody will be with. At worst, it'll be about maybe like 4 levels difference, which won't be a whole lot. So grab that money, grab that shield. Okay, I actually forgot to do something. So the White Mage, after equipping the Ruby Armlet, actually has a better absorb rating than the White Mages, or rather the Red Mages. So putting her in the second position actually saves the Red Mages from some damage because she can take the hit better, as well as her HP growth starts outpacing the Red Mages. Oh. Okay, so I have to do half that walk again. That's fine. This is actually why it's important to save on that floor, just in case you accidentally have a misstep like that. Instead of having to loop back around to go take that entire walk again, you just lose whatever time you have on the reset. Grab the gold again, grab the shield again, go down. We'll save this time so we don't have to do all that over again. Go ahead and optimize our equipment here. And then we'll go ahead and heal. Then we'll go again and rearrange the party. Okay, yeah, so a deciding so we'll go ahead and do this, and I'll explain why we're doing this here. So the eye has roughly 160 and change hit points. Early on, this will be about a 2-round fight here, but we pick up our floater, which is the item that will get us our airship. And then the nice thing about the trap tile is that we can just step off, step back on, and we just fight them all over again. And so we can just use this to grind for EXP. So the target level we're actually looking for is, specifically for the White Mage, is we want her to be able to buy Healaga, Healaga, which is a 7th level magic, which is going to be at I believe it's on rock. Yeah, on rock, which is the area which is where the sea shrine is. So, and you need to be level 30. The White Mage needs to be level 33 in order to buy learn Healaga. So working backwards, that you figure you have to go through the Kraken and the Sea Shrine, and then you have to you also have the waterfall, which we'll go through, and then we also have the volcano, which we go through. That will probably give you, on average, 2 levels worth of experience. So we grind here on the eye till the White Mage gets to about level 31. So that's the primary goal. And as I mentioned earlier, I could do this either here, or I could do this in the volcano on the 2 fire lizard trap tiles. But the eye not only gives us slightly more EXP, it gives us 800 more gold compared to those 2 fire lizard fights, which is what we really need. We not only need EXP, we also need a lot of money. The secondary thing we kind of want to keep track of while we're doing this is the Red Mage's HP. It's not so relevant at this particular run, but if there was an instance where one particular Red Mage was just miles ahead of the other in terms of HP, I would actually consider killing one of the Red Mages off, and how I would do that is I would just basically stop healing him, and just over time he would slowly die throughout these fights here. And that would actually save maybe 2 to 3 minutes depending on when the Red Mage went down, because it would split the EXP 3 ways instead of 4. But the secondary thing that we're besides the HP, okay, the third thing we're looking at is the red mages only need to be actually are at the levels they need to learn 5th tier magic by this point. They need to be level 29 in order to learn 6th tier magics, which will allow them to learn Thundaga, which will be useful for the Sea Shrine. It's not 100% necessary because we do have Thundara already, we do have the gauntlets, but it saves time because it's the difference between having a 1-round fight in the Sea Shrine and having a 2-round fight in the Sea Shrine for some of the water encounters there. So that's really about the 3 things that just kind of keep in mind while you're doing this grind here. It's but as I mentioned, the primary reason we're here is to get levels on our white mage, and so we'll go until she's about level 31, and we're gonna save periodically too, because actually stepping off of the eye's trap tile still does generate a chance for encounter, so we'll just go ahead and do what we can for these guys. Just save periodically. Usually, maybe after every level. Ideally, every level, but you know, every couple of eyes, just take a save, just in case. You know, I either run into some, because I can run into mind flares. I can accidentally step off the what's it called? Step off and fall into the hole again, and I would have to walk back up. So it's just good practice to save while you're doing this grind here. I also realized I forgot to split on the beholder, so I was supposed to split after the hit went down, so I'll just go ahead and skip that one. Yeah, so Cal and Dan keeping it close. I know Cal is about half a level ahead of Dan, but the HP difference I'd be looking at is if one of the red mages was maybe like 3 strong level ups or so about 60 or so hit points ahead of the other one. I would consider killing the one that had lower HP off, but anywhere between like 10 and 40 is actually it's within reason that they'll get enough strong level ups during the grind that they'll actually catch up. So this is kind of looking to be one of those ones where they'll stay about even there. It kind of just all depends on the level ups. I've had actually ones where one of the red mages didn't start pulling ahead to about level 29, and at that point it's just like I'm so close to 31 that's really no point in just killing one of them off. So yeah. So part of the reason why too it's like why does the red mage's hit points matter? It's because of the chaos fight. A lot of everything that doing prior to this is all just setting up for the chaos fight, and we're actually going to end up sacrificing one of the red mages to chaos in order to draw his physical attacks there, just for safety. And there's a couple of other reasons for that as well. One of them being just the amount of ribbons that there are in the game. There's only 3 in the base game. It would not save any amount of time, and it will actually lose time most likely to go into a bonus dungeon to grab the 4th ribbon. And it probably wouldn't, yeah, and it doesn't make a difference either way, so it's, generally speaking, it's just better to just sacrifice one of the red mages instead of trying to salvage it. Because we only need, in an ideal world, 2 buffers is nice, but since you're stacking all of the buffs, and we'll pick up an item later that will allow the warrior to buff himself, it's not 100% necessary, yeah, so what I would do is that when the eye casts Thundara like that, that's not who I meant either. Thundara like that, I would just basically over time just stop healing one of the red mages. But they're keeping it close, so we'll go ahead and heal both of them up. Another reason why too this is safe overall is because in the NES version, the Eye's first skill was an instant death attack. You had no chance of surviving it unless you had 301 or more HP, which, for the point you would probably get there, was not likely. In this version, that ability, which is known as Gaze, is heavily nerfed. So he actually has 4 different versions of that skill. The first one does damage, the second one paralyzes, the third one petrifies, and then it's not until the fourth one that it'll just insta-kill you. And because we can end this fight usually in 1 round, there's no chance of him ever wrapping around, getting anywhere that close to the instant death. So combine this with, you know, combine the eye being nerfed with the ability to save anywhere, as well as healing just being a lot more of it readily available. This is overall just a lot safer to do in this version, which is why part of the reason why we do it. Right, 5 more levels to go. Yeah, so, and see, this is where I was talking about how it doesn't matter too much if people have died at certain points there, because this is kind of where the levels start balancing out, and people get kind of catch back up to where they were. I mean, it's gonna be the difference between maybe 1 or 2 battles difference between when everybody will get back up to the same level, so it doesn't impact too much in the early game. It's just mostly death is mostly punishing in the beginning when you don't have the ability to revive characters readily anyway, because you can revive them in a clinic, but that takes time because you have to go to a clinic, and then it also costs you money to revive the character, and depending on how many characters you have to revive, that can eat into your funds, and money is extremely tight in the early game. So overall, it's just not worth. Yeah, that Thundara is about the worst thing he can cast, and just because it just does the most consistent damage overall. Oh wow, Ace is actually getting a very good health growth in this grind. I remember actually when I was practicing learning this, I had one run that had the white mage was actually only about 10 HP behind the warrior all the way up until actually I think we got all the way up to the Kraken refight in the Temple of Fiend, so it wasn't until very, very late in the game that the warrior finally pulled ahead, and even then the difference was only about 50 HP, so only about 2 strong level ups worth of HP difference. It was actually very close, very interesting to see that. Combination of probably the warrior low rolling on HP for the strong level ups while the white mage rolled high. Yeah, because I guess fourth thing to kind of keep track of is that we want the red mages to, by the end of this, we do want the red mages to be about maybe 320 HP at level 31, because it gives them an outside chance of hitting 400 HP by the time they get to Chaos, which is about the minimum HP needed. Like on a low roll, Chaos will do maybe about 350 damage on a physical hit. 250, 300 if he uses a skill. So 400 HP just buys you a little bit of buffer, and so it looks like we're kind of on track for that there. Hopefully, if we can get maybe like 1 or 2 more strong level ups, we'll have a chance for that there. But yeah, we want ideally the red mages maybe to hit 320 by the time we finish this. So level 29, so about 2 more levels to go. Alright, so that's the warriors level. Go ahead and just run from this. Go ahead and save, actually. Haven't done that in a while. Alright, so since Cal got his level up soon, that means the white mage probably should get her level in probably... Alright, so we got one more level to go. Almost through here. Yeah, it looks like Dan's about on his way there. Hopefully if Cal can get maybe like one more strong level up, we should be good there. Okay, so... Alright, so the red mages got their level, so this eye should do it, and then we should be... Okay, and then Cal got his strong level, so good. That's good. That's actually excellent that they were able to get the, Oh, Dan got a strong level up too there too. Alright, so yeah, okay, there's the white mage's level. Alright, and we're done. Go ahead and heal up our party here a little bit, just to kind of survive some of the encounters we still have to go through, because we still have a few chests to pick up now. That we leave, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up a boatload of money before we get out of here. Alrighty then. This ice giant frost wolf fight is an unrunnable one. This is why I have to fight, which is why I'm fighting it. A couple of fights are unrunnable, and so you just gonna have to deal with it as they come. Okay, duck over here to the left a little bit. I actually should save here because I have run into ice dragons while doing this. I'm gonna take a little bit of a weird walk path through these chests here as I pick up this money, or I'm going to pick up everything except this last chest on the right here because it's guarded by a trap tile, which is kind of a pain to slog through. I can't quite remember what's on that trap tile, but you go through this, it's designed to be like, oh wow, you know, I just had to go through this super tough fight guarding this chest. This must be like an awesome treasure, and there's just 10 gold inside. So it's not worth. It's some like 10 to 100 gold. It's some really insignificant amount of money. So we skip it. Alright, and the final thing we're gonna grab here after we run from this fight here is there's gonna be one more chest we're gonna grab, and this will have 10,000 gil in it. I think I got this encounter on the exact same tile. It's not a trap tile, I think it's just coincidental. Alright, we got the preemptive strike there, so good. Now, even though Dan actually is ahead of Cal on here, I think I'm still gonna end up sacrificing Dan to Chaos, just because Cal I think is about half a level ahead of Dan, so on average I think Cal probably will have a chance to get back ahead of Dan if he can get the one strong level up there. So I think we'll just go ahead and stick with that. Excuse me. Alright, so this boat has served us well, but we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves an airboat now. Make our way south, park it right here. And then we'll go ahead and step into this desert. Alright, so we got an unskippable cutscene here, so I'm gonna be right back while I get some more water. Alright, and airship obtained. Okay, so now that we have this wonderful airship, we're going to do a bunch of shopping, and this is where all that money came into play here. So I'm going to take a few detours here. First, we're going to sail to the Elven Kingdom. And I'm going to pick up some magic that we could have actually gotten earlier, but we just was no real convenient time to get to grab because we would have had to backtrack in order to get it, and that is the haste spells and Blizzara. So Blizzara will actually be the only ice magic we pick up for this run, just because Blizzaga is a little bit too out of the way to grab. Alright, so then we sail east, and then we sail into Overmarsh, and yep. This is where we finally complete that class change quest. And if you're actually wondering how much this dashing mechanic actually saves compared to NES, actually in this one corridor alone, I believe it actually saves about 90 seconds compared to walking it. So it actually does save a lot of time over the course of the run. So we turned in our rat tail to Bahamut, proving our courage by grabbing a giant rat tail. And got ourselves a bunch of fancy new outfits. Alright, and then we'll make our way out of here. And then we sail east a little bit more. We got one quick thing we gotta pick up here in this desert. In the NES version, you could actually land on the desert. They've unfortunately disabled that in the remake, so we have to walk to it now. Pick ourselves up a bottled ferry here. And one actually thing they added here is item shot, which gives you some temporary boost to stats in battle. Now, we're actually not going to use those all the way up to the chaos fight, but it's just convenient to pick them up now, because there's no real other opportunity that's convenient to do so. I mean, okay, no, I take that back. There's one other place I thought that you could grab it, but since you're already there, you might as well just grab them now. Alright, so now we sail south a bit. Make our way to Melmond, which is over here. Oopsie. Okay. So we pick up our black magic first because we're gonna pick up Kiraga while we're here, and that will be the alternate spell that we teach to the other red mage instead of this teleport spell here. So teleport is very useful for dungeon travel because it takes you back one previous floor from the dungeon, which really only saves a lot of time in Waterfall and the She Shrine, but it does save a good decent chunk of time, so it's definitely worth it to pick it up. I can't recall off the top of my head how much time it says. I want to say it's in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 minutes though. It's quite significant. Alright, so we got one last shopping trip we gotta make here, and that's right over here to Crescent Lake. Oh, one too far. Nope, still too far. There we go. Okay, actually, while we're here, we'll go ahead, just with our copious amounts of money, just buy a bunch of these. Buy another stack of these. And since red mages were able to get the level to level 31, then none of them didn't die. Gonna grab Thundaga here. This will be not really used until the Sea Shrine. So if you notice, I started at about 240,000 gold. I just spent 1,000 in like the last like couple of minutes just sailing around doing here. Alright, so now we're finally at the volcano. We'll go ahead, cottage up, which will fully restore our HP and mana. And then we'll just step inside here. And now this, the volcano actually is a very short dungeon, and it may not be for the reason you think. These lava tiles, while they do inflict HP damage to you, they don't generate encounters. So, ideally, you know, we can have maybe like only, like on average, maybe 3 encounters. So that was 1 so far. But instead of trying to avoid all the lava, if we step on it as much as possible, we actually can speed right through this dungeon and have as few possibles as possible. And I do have to fight. I'm taking this one just because that ogre mage has a chance of being an unrunnable encounter, because there's something, I believe it's called a hyena dawn in this one or something like that there. And if it's 0 to 2 for a hyena dawn, and if it shows up with an ogre mage, it is an unrunnable encounter. But if there's an ogre chief with it, like that last other one was, that's not unrunnable, so I could just run from that one. Minotaurs, I don't have time for you. So we're already over average, but that's fine. This is the room I was talking about for the fire lizards. So we say hi to them real quick. And just like that, we're in the feed chamber. Yeah, so one of the other white magics I picked up was Hilaro is in that shopping trip. This will be our primary method of healing the party, so when we do cast it, we want to make sure that, you know, the party is significantly damaged, so it's worth going into the menu to actually go sort all that out there. Go ahead, ether up the white mage, and then we'll go ahead and fight Marilith, or Carrie as she was known as in the NES version. I most often say Carrie just because that was the first name I heard. Alright, so the white mage at this point, from this point on, will basically be on heal duty, but this is where we hit the second stage of our temper stacking on a warrior, because we have the haste spell. Now, unlike other games, the haste spell doesn't increase how frequently or how often that character's turn comes up. It increases the amount of hits you do per round. So if you saw there, the warrior did 10 hits for about 250 damage. If he didn't have the haste buff, he would have maybe only hit about 4 times. So got some bad turn order here, but this is usually a 3 round fight on average. Sometimes 4 if it goes really bad. If we got really bad turn luck on with the temper spells, but should be able to finish out this fight right now. Just a matter of when the warrior. And she's dead. Alright, so our second fiend is down. 2 more to go. Let me just consult my notes real quick, just in case. Did I miss anything? Did that, did that, did that. Nope, okay. Oopsie daisy. Wow, so twice we got an encounter in the Fiend Dungeon. That's pretty rare. Alright. So we got our second Fiend out of the way, so we're on our way to the third one. So we're gonna go ahead, sail a bit this way, over this way. And we're gonna make our way to the town of Gaia. Now this is where that bottle ferry we bought earlier came into play. Cause we're gonna get a little cutscene here where this ferry gets released. And that will come into play very, very shortly, but first we have to buy a few items. Alright, so go ahead, buy 1 ruby armlet and 4 protect rings for the party. And that right there is why we needed a huge chunk of change, because that is 1,400 104,000 gold that I just went through right there. We go ahead and remax our ethers. I think we're okay on Phoenix Down. Go ahead and buy ourselves a couple of cottages, and okay, next what we're gonna do is we're going to optimize all of our equipment here. And then we're gonna sell a bunch of stuff we don't need anymore. So I need those, so let's not sell those. Sell these, sell these, sell that. I thought I put the help input for that. And this is just to kind of clean up the inventory a little bit. We won't be needing this stuff in the future. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and actually move the gauntlet up here. Okay, and then next we go back to that bottled fairy we released earlier, because she gives us a quest item that we need in order to actually access the sea shrine, which is the Oxy Ale. Alright, and so we make our way out here. Now we're not gonna go to the whoopsie daisy. We're not gonna go to the sea shrine right away, because what we're gonna do next is, if I can remember which way to go. That's right, south and then east. Okay. Go ahead and land our airship right here. Okay. So we're gonna go to the waterfall next. We could actually go to either of them in either order, the sea shrine or the waterfall. But going to the waterfall first is nice because it allows us to pick up our first ribbon, which is very handy to have, since it protects against all status ailments. It also allows us to pick up the Defender Sword, which will actually be the last sword upgrade that we normally pick up for the warrior. There are a couple of other swords we could get, like Excalibur and the Mazmoon, but those are a little bit out of the way to get in a normal run setting. So. And the Defender Sword does a good enough job with the temper spells and everything that we stack onto the warrior anyway. I guess he's a knight now, I guess as I should be calling him. I think I went the wrong way. Yep, I should have trusted my muscle memory. Okay, and then we'll go. Hi, Bat. So not anything too particularly bad in here. The clay golems are easy enough to run from. We can run into nightmares, which, because we have Blazara now actually aren't that terrible to deal with, since they resisted my other magics, but I believe they're weak to ice. Oh, and then actually, well, going back to the train of thought of why we're here. So we pick up the ribbon, we pick up the defender sword, and then we also pick up the warp cube, which will allow us to access the Sky Fortress, which is where our fourth fiend will be, and it's just kind of convenient to just pick it up now while we're here. It's one of two items we actually need to schedule to access the Sky Fortress. The other one we will get through a little bit of a fetch quest that involves going through the Sea Shrine anyway. So these powerless are jerk birds. They're like jerk bird 2.0 because their gaze doesn't petrify you, it just insta kills you. I can't remember if it's the Protect or the Protect ring. I think it's the Protect that protects against instant death, but we don't have those, so... Go ahead and just queue this up just in case. Because just like the regular cockatrices, they are weak to thunder. Yeah, so we do actually need to take a few encounters to get our White Mage up to level 33, but we'll run into plenty of those in the Sea Shrine. There's, I want to say at least 3 encounter formations which are completely unrunnable, so it works out for our favor. So talk to this robot, we get the warp cube. Okay, we'll go ahead, grab this ribbon, we'll go ahead, grab this money. Crypto Strike is fine. And then we go ahead, grab this Defender Sword, and this is where the magic of teleport comes into play. It normally would warp you to the previous floor, but this is a 1-floor dungeon, so it just completely takes us out of the waterfall, and thus we save time, because we don't have to backtrack. And so we've finished up the waterfall, we'll make our way to Onrock and the Sea Shrine now. Actually, what am I doing? I have Firaga now. Go ahead, eat that. Okay, so go ahead and let's get our equipment set up. So we've got the ribbon on the White Mage. Oh no, that's not what I want at all actually. Whoops daisy. I want the Defender Sword on you, and then we pass down the rest of the equipment there. Go ahead and cottage up. And then we make our way into Onrock. Okay, then we talk to this spooky ghost mermaid. Ooh, spooky! And then we get into this barrel of a submarine. So this this area actually benefits the most from the teleport spell because there's a lot of back and forth that we do in this area because the Sea Shrine is actually a very big area. There's 5 floors to it, and to grab all the items we need, I actually end up going back up and down a lot of these a lot of these floors here. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way to the right side of it first, which will take us to some of the upper floors. Meanwhile, yeah, so again, we're gonna take encounters along the way, but there's some of them that are unrunnable and they give better EXP than this one. I'm actually gonna take this one, even though it's a preemptive, because this is pretty much like 2/3 of the formation that would appear on the backup trap tile that is used to get the white mage the remaining levels she needs if she doesn't already have it through by the time we pick up our second ribbon. These sea snakes though are just run from. Okay. So we'll make our way here. We're gonna pick up one quick thing along the northern side of this floor before we make our way south. If I can run from this encounter. There we go. Okay, these ghosts are unrunnable, but we have Fyraga and Diaga, so we can deal with them very easily. They hit very hard, so it's actually very good that we have all this alien magic. Doesn't matter how many of them there are. I believe it's actually... It's like you can run into like 2 to 6 or something like that. Like that there. You can run into a bunch of them. Maybe 2 to 7. And... it's completely unrunnable. Yeah, so we pick up this diamond armor, which is actually the first armor upgrade we've gotten for the warrior in a long time. And then we teleport to the previous floor to save us all of that backtracking to walk, and then... Because all we're gonna do now is make our way back down south. Again, this white shark one. We'll go ahead and take this guy here. Okay, we make our way south, and then this is our... Oh, up that stairs. Oh, this is another unrunnable encounter. Elementals by and large are unrunnable, but counterintuitively, the water elementals are actually weak to ice, not thunder, as you might initially think there. Like ice would be like the second thing you would usually think of that they'd be weak to. But in this one, it's their primary weakness. You just see the difference kind of in between how much the thunder spell did to the... Well, that was a low roll for the ice spell, but... Okay, so we're on the mermaid's floor. We're gonna go ahead and grab this diamond armlet, which will be another armor upgrade for our white mage. And then we're gonna run around the back here. And pick up that quest item we need in order to access the Sky Mirage Tower, which will then allow us to get to the Sky Fortress, and that is the Rosetta Stone, more commonly referred to as the Slab. Alright, so while we're in the menu, we'll go ahead, optimize, and pass down our equipment, and then we'll go ahead, teleport. And then we'll teleport. And we're back to the 3rd floor. So saved ourselves at least 2 minutes of backtracking just by using the teleport spell. So this is kind of like the argument versus where Class Change saves. Like, Class Change is overall slower. I believe the world record route for this game actually does not do Class Change, and you can actually beat this without doing Class Change. The world record route also uses a monk instead of a white mage, so it's a lot tighter on healing for that one there. But it's a lot riskier of a strat overall to use that team composition. So this is the more generally safe approach, and for me, because I'm learning, I'm just picking this up. This is what I figure would be the best one to start with. The Sahagin Chief and Princes is the third unrunnable encounter, but this is very easily dealt with proper application of Thundagas and Gauntlets. Dead. Alright, so we got two more items we gotta pick up on this floor. Actually, one of them is the ribbon, but we're gonna take a slight detour to the west here, because we're gonna pick up a little armor item that we're actually not gonna even use as armor. Go ahead and grab it first, and then I'll explain what it does. Take a weird path grabbing it just to avoid some trap tiles, but right there what we grabbed was the Giant's Glove. Now, the Giant's Glove, when used as an item, casts the spell Saber. Now, Saber is a black magic spell similar to the Temper spell in that it also boosts attack, but Saber also gives you a boost to your accuracy, which increases the number of hits you do per round. The problem with the Saber spell is that it is a self-cast spell, meaning that it was probably intended to be used by the ninjas, since they can cast black magic as well once they class change. It's useless on the black mages because you don't want them to be doing physical hits. And in the original NES, these were broken. In that they didn't work. Not broken overpowered, they were broken in that they didn't work, so there was almost no point to use a ninja. So this kind of completes the trifecta of our Temper strat for our knight, because we cast haste, we cast temper, or we cast haste, and then we stack tempers, and then we stack Giant's Gloves. And then what this will do is just make our knight deal a boatload of damage, and this is our primary way of dealing with bosses for the rest of this run. Stepping on this trap tile here because we're a little bit short on that EXP we need to get the white mage to level 33, so it's just convenient that there's a nice trap tile right next to the ribbon you can use to catch up, get the white mage where she needs it. You could, if you wanted to, just beeline it to Kraken after grabbing the ribbon, and kind of chance that the white mage would get the experience she needs, but if she doesn't hit level 33 and you beat Kraken, there's not a lot of good encounters that give experience in the on-rock area, and so that would kind of involve having to backtrack back into the Sea Shrine in order to get the level she needs there for that. So overall, it's just safer and more consistent to just make sure she's at level 33 before you get to Kraken. Because one other thing about Kraken is that there's actually a very good chance that people will still die at Kraken, because Kraken's physical hits hit very, very hard. And so if he hits the white mage, odds are pretty good she's still gonna die regardless. So it's better to just make sure everybody's leveled up ahead of time. Fun fact: for as much stuff that didn't work in the NES version of the game, Kraken, I believe particularly Kraken 2, the refight, could actually break the 9999 damage cap for enemy damages. And what's funny about that is that for everything that was broken in that game, he could, the NES would actually properly display over 5 digits, or rather, over 4 digits for the damage. So if he happened to roll at least 10,000 points of damage, you would actually see it. I went the wrong way. Yep, there we go. It's hard to remember which way to go in these things when they don't have a lot of landmarks to go on. Actually, kind of surprised I'm still getting poisoned even with all of these extra magic item armors that I got. It shouldn't be impacting my avoid stat anymore. Oh well. Oh, call it bad RNG. And we made it to Kraken. Okay, so we'll go ahead, heal up our party. Then we'll go ahead and ether up our white mage. Okay, give ourselves a couple of ethers here. We don't actually need to be casting a lot of spells for this one here. And actually, while I'm here, let me put that there. And then actually, let me put the second ribbon on Cal. And then I forgot to save. Alright. And then this fight here is where we demonstrate the power of the Giant's Glove. Okay, so we'll have the Knight Giant's Glove. We'll put the White Mage on Hilara, Haste, Temper. A nice little aesthetic thing there is that Kraken does 8 hits per round if he ever decides to do a physical hit. If he hits any one of the mages, odds are pretty good they're just going to drop dead because they don't have nearly as much physical defense as the armored as the Knight does, but that's part of the reason why we put him in the frontmost position. Okay, so we're going to stack the Giant's Glove twice. And then, so that will be 3 Tempers that have been cast overall. So we have 2 Tempers, 2 Saber spellcasts, and 3 Temper spellcasts. And now we go on the offensive. We continue to stack Tempers. This is usually about a 4-round fight if you with all the buffs included. So the only one that really has a chance of dying here is the White Mage, and that's if Kraken decides to hit her with a physical hit. And we get bad turnover. Ink is fine because all Ink does is cast Darkness. Even if it does hit, it doesn't like nearly impact as many hits as it would for the amount of hit chances, so it's fine. He's still dead. Alright, 3 feeds down, 1 to go. Okay, and we're out of here. Okay, so we duck really quickly back into Onrock because we, the whole purpose of getting our White Mage to level 33 is so that she can buy Hilaga. Alright, and then very important, step out of the magic shop before you cast Teleport, because if you cast Teleport while you're in the magic shop, it will just teleport you outside of the magic shop. Teleporting just saves some backtracking, and it also dodges NPCs, which is saves time for that there. Okay, so we have one other thing we need to do before we can go to the Mirage Tower. tower, we need to go give the Rosetta Stone that we picked up in the Sea Shrine to Dr. Un because he needs to teach us a language that we need to understand a bunch of people that will give us the item we need to access the Mirage Tower. I actually took the long way to get to this guy, but that's okay because he came to us. Excuse me. I'm watching that NPC on the left there just because he can, his pathing can affect our ability to walk out of here. But it's fine because I forget because we could just teleport out and we're good to go. Okay, so now we understand Lufanian. I need to wait. Okay, notes. Okay, to get to Lufania, Melmond, fly west, and then. Okay, wait. Fly west, and then we go north here over the Peninsula Power. Yep. Okay. Okay. So this area is unfortunate. This is the closest tile we can land the airship on to get to Lufania, and we just run into a bunch of encounters in this forest along the way down. It truly is unfortunate that there's no other closer tiles that we could land the airship on. And actually, what's really useful, which would be really handy, that is used in ROM hacks and such like that for this game is actually on the NES version is they granted the ability to sprint on the overworld map, which saves a bunch of time actually. So that wasn't that bad. All those NPCs can block my path, and so to kind of avoid having to deal with that again, we just teleport out. Okay, so we have our chime. We have to make our way back to our airship now. It's part of the reason why the Lufanians stay in their town is because there's dinosaurs and frost wolves and a whole bunch of other nasty things outside. So not bad, only 4 encounters, and then a very, very short airship ride. We just plop down right here. Okay, and then we make our way to the Mirage Tower. Okay, so before we make our way in, we'll go ahead and heal. Alright, and then very short first floor if you don't care about the treasure chests. And then we'll make our way through the second floor. So the only other encounters of note in here is there are vampires in here as regular encounters, and because they were because they were flagged as a boss earlier, they are still unrunnable, but you know, again, we have tools for dealing with undead. So smite, kill it with fire, and purge. And that takes care of that. That blaze is always kind of amusing because the Chimera doesn't move and yet there's just this pillar of fire just moving up and down. Oh, these guard sentries I actually will fight because they do give a decent chunk of EXP. Actually, I should have you do this instead. I mean, with 2 of them, it might not be worth it, but, what's it called? Not only do they give good EXP, but these guys do just regularly give you EXP. Actually, their brother is the Century, which is a palette swap version of it. Actually gives a ton of EXP as well. With the, I believe we find those in the Sky Fortress there. Yeah. So if I can get like groups like 5 or 6 of those guys grouped together, actually it is actually worth it to take the fight in most cases. Getting the preemptives on these were-tigers is good because the were-tigers are actually still pretty fast. I think not so fast that I can't run from them, but fast enough that it could result in maybe taking like a 2-round fight. Okay, so we gotta heal. I'm gonna go ahead and heal up a little bit here. The nice thing about the heal line of spells is that they do cast it on the party. It's AoE on the entire party. The downside of it is that it casts like 1 tier spell lower than what it would normally be. So like for Hilara, for example, casts Cure on the entire party. Saving here because there's a trap tile in which we run into a blue dragon. This is not terribly difficult. It resists thunder, but we just go ahead and just melee it to death. Easy fight. Alright, and then this is what we needed the warp cube for. We make our way up and into the Sky Fortress. Alright, so very short floor, we just make our way up here. I believe this fight's still unrunnable. Or rather, still runnable even with the air elemental there. Air elementals are weird in that they, for the encounters which you can and can't run from them. So they're like the one exception to most of the elementals you can't run from them rule kind of thing there. I'm gonna take a quick detour here if I can stop running into encounters, but this is our friend the Eye. He's a random encounter here. And just as simple as he was back at the ice cave. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a quick detour here. Pick up this diamond shield, and then we pick up our 3rd and final ribbon, and then it's marginally faster to teleport back to the previous floor and then come back up than it is to backtrack our way through that slight corridor there. I'm not beating up this Eye because I want to, it's because the fight is still an unrunnable encounter. The most annoying thing these manticores can do is cast their poison darts, but it's okay, we got away from them ahead of time. Okay, another very short floor. Because we just got the teleporter's right there. Alright, and then this is sort of a Lost Woods-esque Legend of Zelda area. The gimmick to this one is you just have to go twice in alternating directions. So this is that palette swap thing I was talking about earlier. This guy gives a good chunk of EXP, so I'm gonna fight him. He also hurts like a truck. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, you want to just alternate in 2 directions and the teleporter will just show up here. Now, we're going to heal on this floor because there is a super boss-esque enemy we can run into called Warmech. It's a 1 in 64 chance encounter, so it's not terribly common, but you can still run into him. I haven't run into him yet, but you can still run into him. So, yep, we got to Tiamat, no problem. Let me double check my ether. Okay. Oh, MP is okay. Alright, so same strategy as before. We're just going to go ahead and Giant's Glove. Haste and Temper. Scrubbing Bubbles, heal up. So that's bad turn order, which is unfortunate because the heal went off first. Thunderbolt is okay. It's actually not, it's like her least damaging spell. I think I forgot to equip, oh, whoopsie daisy. I forgot to put the Diamond Shield and the ribbon onto the Knight. That's okay. It shouldn't affect this fight too much. Ow. Alright, so we got our 2 rounds of buffing in, so now we go on the offensive. Continue stacking tempers. Alright. I actually wasn't expecting that to take her out in 1 round. That's usually still a 2-round fight even with all the buffs, but I guess I got good turn order on the tempers for that one. So I was not prepared to split there. So that's our 4th fiend down. We're ready to, at long last, we can go to the Temple of Fiends and complete our mission here. So no Warmac encounters, unfortunately. Okay, so make our way back to our airship. Next, we'll fly south. There's our Temple of Fiends. Level 1 encounters. Go ahead and heal. Actually, what I should do while I remember it is that. Alright. So we've lit the 4 crystals. It allows us to dispel the evil magic around the dark crystal. Opening up this little toilet bowl, which allows us to jump through it in 2,000 years into the past. Because time travel. Alright, so these first couple of floors I'm going to do a lot of save scumming, and that's because we can run into particularly nasty encounters here. These purple worms aren't bad, they're just unrunnable, so we're fine with these. But on this first floor, I can run into frost dragons, and they have the ability Ice Storm. And it can run into like 1 to 4 of them, and they can all cast Ice Storm. And if they all do it, not only does it waste a lot of time, it will likely wipe the party. So I give it about a second to maybe figure out if I have a preemptive or not, but otherwise I just reset because it's not worth the time to try and fight it, and Ice Storm just wastes a whole lot of time. So we're gonna be save scumming a lot through this first portion of the Temple of Fiends. Okay, so got through the first part of it. Don't usually run into encounters on this floor, but just in case, it's not a bad time to save there. Okay. This next floor, we can run into gas dragons. So gas dragons are also unrunnable. I believe it's 2 to 4, 1 to 4, something like that there. And they can cast the skill Poison Gas, which will do about 100 or so damage to the entire party. And all of them have a habit of casting it at once. And unlike the ice dragons, I can't get preemptives on them. Or I don't think I can get preemptives on them anyway, so what's it called? Just save scum galore. I actually remember one vividly. I remember one time when I was learning the route for this game. I was trying to get through this one section of floor right here, and every single time I reloaded the save, I what's it called? I kept getting 3 gas dragons on the exact same tile, which was really annoying. This is a boss, by the way. The Eye, he's weak to fire. And now he's dead. Okay. I'll go ahead and... Okay, Black Knights aren't bad. Pick up this elixir. This is just kind of a backup. We need this for the chaos fight. Way early in the game, we could have gotten... when we fought zombie dragons, we could have gotten a mega elixir drop, but it's only a 1% chance to drop, so... It's not anything you really bank on. Alright, played our loot, made our way down. Alright, so we went down all those floors, now we gotta make our way back up them. Continue to save scum, because now we're basically dodging all those bad encounters in the reverse order. This ice giant, ice wolf path isn't bad. It's just unrunnable, so we can go ahead and just deal with it with fire magic. Okay. Save one more time. Almost there. Okay, one more floor we gotta save scum through. This one, again, what we're dodging here is frost dragons. Yep. That's a nope. Just gotta make our way to the corner there. Okay, worst of the save scumming is over. Not mandatory after this point. It's just something I might do just in case, just for safety along the way here. But not gonna run into anything nearly as nasty as like gas dragons and stuff like that after this. These are earth elementals. These are unrunnable, and they are weak to fire magic. Go ahead and wipe them out. Clay golems, stone golems, not terribly difficult to run from. Okay, loop our way all the way around this big room. Ow. Okay, almost there to the boss. Just one more thing we have to go through of earth elementals. Hopefully this will be the last one. ahead and save, because I think we're about 2 squares away from where the trap tile is. Heal up our party. Go ahead, ether up our party. Get everybody back to max MP. Okay, and then we'll save, and then boss fight. Alright. So, similar similar strat. Well, exact same strat, not similar. Giant's Glove, Haste Temper. Lich this time around, his first spell is not Blizzara, it's Flare. So, considerably worse this time around. Still same problems, got a good chance to wipe out the red mages, but a little bit better odds of surviving this time around, but we still don't want to see it. Okay, physicals are still good. Okay, it should be one more round of combat after this. Okay, there's the flare. Ow. Okay, so as long as either the white mage goes first or the knight goes first, I think we're fine. That 5 HP mattered. Okay, we're good. Physical on the white mage, we're fine. And dead. Okay, we'll make our way through the... This is the fire-themed floor. So, the previous floor was the earth-themed floor. This is the fire-themed one. Nothing really too nasty we can run into. We can run into fire elementals, which would be unrunnable. There's also, I believe, either a 1 in 64 or a 3 in 64 chance of running into fire dragons. But those aren't nearly as bad as the other ones. Okay. Okay, we don't need to heal, but we do need to ether. Oopsie daisy. Go ahead and save, and Marilith refight. Haste, temper. Our mage is practicing good hygiene by brushing their teeth. Oh, that's not the Giant's Gloves. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, I totally didn't realize that was a misclick. Okay, this is why you need to pay attention during the during the item selection. There we go. So that's gonna delay our buffs combat a little bit, but that just gives more chances to apply temper spells. Actually, that is kind of bad because it gives Marilith more chances to go down like her spell list and her skill list and things like that there, but hopefully it shouldn't matter too much. Okay, one more time. And actually, that'll put us pretty darn close to maxing out on tempers. Fire Rog is not bad. Okay, we'll just go on the offensive now. Since we kind of maxed out on tempers, the red mages don't have much else to do, so we can kind of just physical attack at this point. That's unfortunate that came in after the heal. What does the Giant's Glove do in battle? The Giant's Glove casts the black magic spell Saber. So similar to the temper spell, it gives you an increase to your attack, but it also increases your agility or accuracy. I forget which stat but Saber increases the amount of hits per round that you would do when you do an attack, as well as giving you a buff to your physical attack stat, which is why when you combine it with the temper spell with the haste spell, which will also increases your accuracy, it basically makes it so that whoever ends up using the giant's glove basically will hit like a truck and hit a lot of times when they do a physical attack. So we use that on the knight in conjunction with the temper stacking on the from the red mages to just make him deal a boatload of damage. There is a cap on it, similar to the temper spells. I believe both of them cap out at around 6. Yeah. So, in an essence, it's I don't know what the actual numbers that they behind it are off the top of my head, but I do recall that like the difference being is that like temper will give you a flat 10 to you to the target's attack stat, and that's it. Saber gives, I think, 14 attack, and it also increases accuracy by, I want to say, a factor of 10 as well, or by 10 as well. Haste doesn't increase the accuracy stat. I think it just increases the number of hits you do per round. It's something weird like that. I don't know the exact physics behind it, or rather the mechanics behind it. But yeah, but basically, if that's one way to think about it, is that Saber will cast temper and haste in one combination, and it stacks upon itself. It's nice that it's on the giant's glove because, as I previously mentioned, Saber is a self-cast spell, and because it's a black magic spell, it's only available to either black wizards or ninjas, because you have to class change to use it because it's a 7-tier spell. The black wizards don't want to cast it because they don't want to be doing physical attacks, and so it's kind of designed for the ninjas, but ninjas were broken in the sense that they didn't work as intended in the original NES version. And actually, the Saber spell didn't work actually either. I believe the temper spells didn't work in the original NES version, so it was kind of a moot point either way. Yeah, the giant's having it tied to the giant's glove is convenient because I can have the knight use it as an item, and then I don't have to dedicate a party slot to like the ninja, for example, because then the ninja like wouldn't be able to tank physical hits as well or tank hits as well as the knight would, and then the thief and the ninja actually have very few options in the way of armor, so actually survivability is a big issue for them. They're very much reliant on dodging attacks more than they are enduring them, so I wouldn't use them either way, even if it wasn't options. It is something worth considering though if you're going to do something for like either a randomizer or like a challenge run. It's stuff to factor into. Almost a Kraken. Got a few nasty encounters here, but we're almost there. Okay, and I can't remember if it's this one or the next one. So what Saber does? Yes, that is the long and short of the Saber spell. It gives you flat stats in the remakes, and in the NES version it doesn't work. Like a lot of things don't work in the NES version. Okay, so we go ahead and save here because I think it's... Okay, not this one. This one is the Kraken Square. Alright, so not Gauntlet's Giant's Glove. Very important. Because if I cast Gauntlet instead of Giant's Glove, that actually can make a big difference in this particular fight. Alright, so Thundara is the least offensive thing that Kraken can do. Let's see what he does next. Okay, Ink's not that bad because it's not going to affect anybody important. The only one it would affect is Dan because Dan doesn't have a ribbon. But everybody else is immune to all status effects, so that doesn't matter. Okay, so we got our buffs off. Go ahead, go on the offensive, heal, temper. I think this will put us at 5 tempers total. Yeah, how I kind of judge when the tempers have kind of capped out is if I physically lose count, which can happen, has happened before, but usually around on certain bosses, in most cases, like if it around the 2000 to 2200, it kind of depends on the boss. But like 2000 to 2300 is about where it kind of caps for the temper stacking. So once you hit that point, generally it's better to just switch the red mages to doing something else. I actually don't remember if this is runnable or not. Air elementals, because air elementals have some weird properties to them as far as unrunnables are concerned. They don't follow the same rules as other elementals, so I can never remember which ones I can and can't run from for them. I probably could have run from this one actually, now that I think about it. Might have actually been faster just to physically hit these guys. Yeah, I need to make a mental note. Go look up the look up the properties of air elementals, because that actually will come into play later on. Okay, this is actually a very short floor because oh, this is actually unrunnable, or rather, this is runnable because of the Vampire Lord. If the Vampire Lord wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to run from this. Okay, but we have our Tiamat refight next. Go ahead and heal up there. Yeah, so this is the shortest floor for all the Fiend refights. If you wanted to, you could actually make a detour, because in the in the southwest corner is a treasure chest that contains the Masamune, which is the strongest katana in the game, and for all intents and purposes in vanilla Final Fantasy, it is the strongest sword in the game. With the remakes, there are in the bonus dungeons there are stronger weapons that you can grab in there, but it's not worth it in the speedrun setting to take the time to go and grab them, because you would spend far more time acquiring them than you would save by using them. Yep, so looks like Cal got that strong level up he needed, which put him ahead of Dan, so I was right to trust in Cal. My faith was rewarded. It's gonna take a little bit longer since Dan didn't get his temper off, so we're about 1 spell rotation behind on the tempers. Thunderbolt's not bad. I think one more round of combat after this and Tiamat should go down. Bizarre's not bad. Oh, okay, a little bit short. poison gas is the gas dragon ability. There we go. That's the kind of damage I'm looking for. Did I miss a Giant's Glove? I'm trying to think. This shouldn't actually take this many rounds. I'm thinking I must have only Giant's Glove once. That 44 damage matter. There we go. Oopsie daisy. Overstepped. Oh, this is unrunnable, but that's fine because it gives good EXP. I forgot to revive Dan. Oh well. Alright, Dan, we'll give you a chance to get some of this EXP. Alright, it's up to you, Dan. Don't get hit by the purple worm. That's all you gotta do. If you want the EXP, just don't get hit. Oopsie daisy. There, see? Knew you had it in you, Dan. There, you didn't get hit. Okay. Alright, final battle time. Go ahead, heal up our party to full. Okay, we gotta do some rearrangement here. So, we're gonna put Dan at the front of the party. He's gonna lead us into battle. Okay, our elixir's there. We need this here, that there, and we need this here. Actually, we can put that here. Okay. Alright, so Chaos. Chaos has a grand total of about 20,000 hit points, and the fourth spell he casts is cartrige, so with a J. So that will heal him for 9,999 hit points. In the original version, in the original NES version, that would heal him to full. In this version, you know, that's about half his HP. Half his HP. So we don't want him to do that. But he does still hit like a truck, so we have some setup we have to do. We have Dan. Okay, wait. Oh, yeah, that's very important. You know, just casual 10-second time loss. It's fine. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, so one more time. We're gonna Giant's Tonic our other party members because and we're having Dan Giant's Tonic the Warrior because or rather the Knight, because the Knight needs it the least. He's the least likely one to die to Chaos here, but we leave the Giant's Tonic. You know, if he kills the White Mage, you know, that's just a reset there. But yeah, we leave Giant's Tonicking the White Mage to the Knight because the White Mage needs to focus on casting Hilaga for the round there. A lot of this Chaos fight is just managing HP around what Chaos does. And if he casts skills, you can kind of keep up with it, but if he starts doing a lot of physical hits, or if he starts going through his spells, that's when things can kind of spiral out of control. So a little bit of RNG to, in this final fight here. Oh, whoopsie daisy, that's bad. That's actually kind of bad. Okay, well, the knight just hits the HP cap because I giant tanked him twice. Okay, we're just going to... how do we want to do this? Okay, I know I need to have him start buffing immediately, so... Okay, we're gonna have Dan try to haste. Okay, we'll have you do that, and then I need to have you just on Giant's Glove immediately. So, we've Giant's Glove 2 times for almost every other fight prior to this. For this one, we're actually going to be Giant's Gloving 4 times, so because we need a lot of buffs to get anywhere kind of close to the amount of damage we're going to need to put a dent into Chaos's HP. That's not who I want to temper. Okay, that's 2 Giant's Gloves. Got the haste. Okay, 1 temper. Okay, Slowra is fine. It's not on Ace. That's the important part. That'll allow us to catch up on our healing. That's 2 tempers and 2 Giant's Gloves. Oh, Dan holding on. Dan's holding on a lot longer than I anticipated he would. Okay, so we're actually going to cap out a lot earlier than in terms of our temper spells, so I can actually have Cal switch to speed drinks a lot earlier. So yeah, those Giant's Tonics, I don't need 11 of them, it's just convenient to hit one button instead of having to manually do like 3 for that there. Blaze is a skill, so Chaos can either cast spells or he can cast skills. Skills don't advance him towards his Cure 4, but spells do. I know he's cast Blizzard already. Okay, so that's our 4th Giant's Glove. Alright, and I believe because we've had all those extra turns with Dan, we've actually capped out on tempers here, so I can double check that with Ace's damage, but we're just gonna have him switch to speed drinks at this point because speed drinks will increase the... Okay, yeah, we capped out, so about 2200 there. So speed drinks will continually increase Ace's accuracy stat, I believe it is, or agility, one of the two, and this will increase our damage exponentially as the longer this fight goes on. So now we're basically just on a damage race to beat out Cure Raja. So again, Tsunami, this is another skill. And then one thing I do need to keep in mind is that, okay, so wait, what did I say before? 22 plus 26, and then we kind of high rolled on the numbers, so we'll call that 49, yeah, 4900 HP down so far. So we're about a fourth of the way there. Ow. 49. We'll call that 8100. Goal is 20,000. We'll call that 1200. For safety, I think I'm gonna have Cal cast Kiraga on the white mage just to get just get her back into a range that's comfortable for that there. Okay, Thundaga shouldn't kill, so that'll allow us to catch up on our healing. Okay, so 16,500, so I think... No, he casts Slow Roar, yeah, so he's... Okay, so it's either I'm either going to get this last hit in, or he's gonna heal for 10,000 HP. That's basically what's gonna happen right now. Okay, he just healed for 10,000 HP, so... I threw off my numbers though. What was I at before? So I was at 4,500 left before, so that's 1550, so that 19, and then how much damage did I do? I think I did like 34. I completely lost count at this point. Now I was running too much math in my head at this point. Okay, well we're just gonna chug along there. Okay, wait, so 3,300, 3,600, 100. Call that 60, not. Call call it 7,000. So we'll say he's maybe at about 12,500 if I'm doing my math correctly. Okay, so 12,500. Okay, so one more round should do it. Okay, he's dead. That's time. Alright. Okay, little bit of a rough start there. For that, but we managed to work our way through it.